everybody, it's Sabrina. Welcome back to my channel. So I am so excited to do the December daily setup of all my supplies. It's actually going to wind up being two parts because I felt like it was going really long, and the second part is all going to be about paper. Probably going to see me get really frustrated in the video, but then last night I had an aha moment and I figured out a solution for my paper. So I think I mentioned that in the voiceover too, but it was like 10 minutes long talking about paper and then my pages that I already have prepped. So I figured, you know what, let's just make it another behind the scenes type video. So you'll get a second one tomorrow. And I could not be more excited with my paper storage, and I'm just so glad that I stepped away and then thought about how I could better store my papers. So in this behind the scenes video, I did not share a setup video last year because it was in the prep day classroom. So I'm excited to share one this year. And you can see I just clear off all my counter space over here and then set up all the different supplies. I am going to start off by opening up my kit. I really love, waiting to open my kit until I'm ready to set up my supplies. And it's typically also because I'm trying to finish up October daily. I don't want to overwhelm myself, but opening up the kit and looking at all the different pieces really helps me to see, what's in the kit this year and what am I working with, and it gets me excited for this year's project. This will be my 15th year doing December daily. I'd love to know in the comment section what year number are you on. I know the first few years I did digital books. My kids were very young, so it just made sense to do something that was a little bit easier. But now I do a whole traditional album and I absolutely love it. It's definitely my favorite project. So I hope you guys enjoy seeing everything come together and even the shenanigans, because I was having some moments where I was like, wow, this is a lot of supplies. So I am definitely more aware of that this year, that I need to pay attention to what am I using, what am I not using, and I have a few things that I will mention that I'm keeping an eye on in case those need to be gotten rid of. All right, let's go get started, and I'm excited. I will do a voiceover while I'm chatting about the different things that I'm organizing, or I'll just put on music if I feel like I don't really have anything to talk about. Okay, let's go.
Starting off, opening up the box, and I don't think I've waited this long to actually open up my December daily supplies. Maybe it had something to do with the fact that prep day was this past Sunday. I don't know. Did you see me shake my head? I'm like, I'm absolutely not opening those gold alpha stickers. I'm not opening them. I'm not using them. I have no interest in those, so I will chuck those. But like I said, just opening these supplies later in the year or in the month, it felt a little off. I also noticed, and I don't know if you guys can relate, I'm sure you can, but sometimes when you're not in the best mood or you're just tired, it might not be the best idea to tackle such a huge organization project. I just could not believe how much stuff I had. The cute little numbers, they reminded me of bingo numbers, and I love them. I thought about doing like a digital page with them all down the side on the left. But yes, it is a lot of product that I am, getting out and sifting through. It's 15 years worth. I also am going to be going through my organizing containers and trying to figure out what can go where. Like I just grabbed a red little plastic dish and I put the stars that come in this year's kit. I can't remember what material they are, but I grabbed those, put them in a red little dish. Then I'm looking through the 10x8 papers, which I am such a fan of 10x8 papers. That's why I probably can't get rid of them. I put those in the plastic organizer, and that will work for now as the home for them.
So you just saw me open up the kit and kind of go through some supplies. I sped up that process because I'm not sure if it's exciting for you guys, but it's definitely my starting place. Like I said in the introduction, just getting to play with the different items and see what is out for this year. So this is my box. I've gone over this box a few times over the years, but I have opened it up and I am going to set out some pieces and kind of go through this box like I do every year, and then set aside stuff that I might want to sell or get rid of or just donate. I did find a group in Facebook that swaps and sells Ali Edwards stuff, so I might use that. Right, let's get started. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this tray right here and decide how I want to put out things.
I also wanted to just apologize. I feel like there's some sort of like background noise with my phone. I don't know. My phone is really old. I need to get a new one. So I hope there's not too much of the background noise. So I took that tray and I went ahead and put it right on top of, where I'm trying to put all my supplies. And I'm just sorting through the different compartments to see what I want to put out. Some things I just don't put out, like there's some tags in there when I went to a tag swap many years ago. They're sentimental. I really don't want to get rid of them. I actually do have a place where I store like cards that were given to me, so maybe I could move those to that location. That would be a better spot. I also just get to the point at the end of December daily where I'm just like done with working on this project, so things get tossed into the wrong spots. So it helps to just go through things. I am currently looking through a bunch of tagged shapes and frames, and behind me on the fireplace, I'm putting stuff that I want to get rid of. In the kit this year, there was a library pockets, which I absolutely love. There's also some giant, they almost remind me of manila folder type frames. They're kind of thick. These ones right here, they are very interesting. They're like got a retro vibe. Am I the only one that feels that way? I feel like they have a retro vibe, but they're going to get their own little box, and I'm also going to add in some other frames as well. I just noticed that I have a huge stack of like shapes that I cut out from a paper, so I don't know what that's about. I'm also making a compartment for trees, all different types of trees, vellum, transparency, paper, because I love trees and I love having tree embellishments. And I'm also finding a lot of these shapes, the long skinny tags. So I'm just having those sit there for now and trying to decide, how many do I have? What kind of container should I be using? I found a stack of Della. I don't even know what Della is, but I found a stack of vellum tags, and most of them I decided to not keep because I just wasn't using them, and they're from several years old. So I just kind of went with a gut reaction. Am I going to use this year? No, probably not. Get rid of it. Like these large vellum tags, just get rid of it. Because I have so many tags, large tag shapes. I'm going to wind up with a whole box full of various specialty papers. So I don't need more. I also discovered a thumb print with reindeers and Santa. You can kind of see it in the screen, but I think that's supposed to be a giant bookmark. So I'm pretty excited to have that as a giant bookmark. I also found a bunch of transparencies. I have 4x4, and then I have the 2x2 ones, and I even have a pack from this year. So I'll have a lot of transparencies, frames. And then I love the snow globes. I know everybody's going bonkers about the snow globes. Snow globes, I just have been in love with snow globes since I was a little girl. So I will probably do something with the snow globes. I found a bag that had December colors in it. I think that was a page from last year, and I wound up cutting a bunch of extra letters. So I just stuck the extra letters in there. I also try to make an effort to kind of wipe out each little section because it winds up with little dust and bits of stuff. So I just try to wipe it out. And then I am going to save that little Santa. It's like a piece of a wrapping paper. I'm going to save that for my journal because that just looks adorable, and I don't even know why it's in there. Maybe it was an ephemera. These are the green numbers for this year. I am going to grab another small dish to put those numbers in. I also see the washi, and I'm tempted to put the washi over on my desk, but who knows? I might wind up using it in my project. Probably not, but I would need it in another container. It's not going to work in that main plastic unit. And putting that white dish of numbers, that didn't work either. So I got to rethink it. I wish it could fit the numbers, but it can't. So we're just going to have to keep thinking. I also found a bag of like glitter chipboard words from several years ago. So I'm just going to dump that in one of the muffin tin trays. I'm also excited to have several new 6x8 stamp sets. I'm going to show you those in just a minute. One of them is I know it's Ali Edwards script, but it just looks so different. This one right here, and then the snow globe one, and also this one as well. Okay, so the next section I'm working on is the bigger box section, the deeper area in this organizing box that I got from IKEA. Don't know if it's still available, but it's amazing. It is able to hold this acrylic container that has all of my word strips, journaling cards, 4x6 stamps. I love it. It's fantastic. But it does hold a lot of things that I could probably pare down. I am just kind of going through it and seeing, right away, like what off the bat can I just get rid of. I even found a gingerbread wrapper from Target last year. That's my favorite snack. And I think I saved it for ephemera, obviously, but I don't know what I was going to do with it. Maybe I'll laminate it and just stick it in my album. Who knows? The acrylic organizer with all those cards, that's going to go on the far left of where I'm going to have my supplies. The Christmas tree organizer is going to be right in the center. And I think later on I'm going to use the actual box that the kit came in, and I'm going to use that for specialty papers. The next thing I'm going to grab out of the bin is my other stamps from over the years. I did notice that one of the stamp sets, I think it's like the star one, I have several that I need to clean because they fell off. So I have that one that reminds me of like a snowy house with the large stars and houses, obviously. And then I also have some tags. That's the star one that I need to clean. And then I have another star one that's like giant stars. And I know this year there's more of like a wonky stars, I want to say, like smaller stars. But I have a good selection of stamps, and I really try not to buy all the stamps every single year. This year I stuck to 2 main ones, and then Ali Edwards did that $5 deal, and so I could not pass up on another stamp set, especially when it was a fantastic one. So I am filling up my muffin tin tray, and I will explain everything once I get to the end, because I'll do kind of a walkthrough of my album, or not my album, my space. So I went over to my organizing containers and I found this little tree one. It needs to be glued back together. Obviously, it's a cheap container, but it's going to help me to hold a few things and be able to stack my containers a little bit more. I also have they're slightly larger than 4x6, but they're the clear bathroom containers from Target. Who knows if they're still available? I feel like Target's always changing their containers. But I poured all of my stars onto that clear container. And then in this tree organizer, this is where I put all of the scalloped tags and shapes and my washi. And then this year's clear numbers and stars. So it's just a really nice tray to hold a few different components for this year, and that way they can be front and center. And I love how it looks. And then I can stack some other things underneath it. And this is where I kind of got in a fight with the paper. Well, not in a fight, but I got so discouraged with the giant stack of paper. Again, when you get to the end of a huge project, the thing you want to do is just like be done. And so chucking the stuff into the box is not going to help yourself next year. So that's why I'm going to go through the stuff this year and hopefully not chuck it in the box. But I took the paper and I put it down below, and then I kind of thought about it, like, what can I do to make the paper system that I have for December Daily work better? Because what I have now is not working, and it's just too it's too much paper and it was frustrating me. So I came up with a great solution and I will share that with you tomorrow. I'm so excited. I'm really so excited about how this is going to work. And I'll also discuss the other bags that I have of paper and the pre-made pages that I have. So I think I'm getting close to the point where I like how things are looking. I grabbed the December Daily box, and this is where, like I said, I'm going to put in the specialty papers, the transparencies, and you can see I'm just like, I don't even know what I was giggling at, but I was just like, oh my goodness, this stuff is just never ending. But I do have to remember that I have I don't even know how many years worth of supplies, at least 10 years worth of supplies. So it's a lot of supplies. And I picked up the box again so that way I could see what else I need to bring out. I also have a ton of the greenery because I use the greenery for flat lays. And so what I did with that is put it on a cookie sheet underneath my desk, and that'll work just good enough for now. I don't know why I'm jumping around, but I left it in here because I hope you get a laugh out of it because I was just being ridiculous. I think it was close to lunchtime and I was like, I can do this. I can do this. It was like pumping myself up. I can do this. I did find some random things that I don't know, where they came from. It's 2 canvas pockets. It's a floral stitched album. I have no idea, but I found those, I set those aside, and then I have all these glassine bags that have labels on them, but the labels do not match what's inside. So obviously I've reused these glassine bags over and over again, and I really need to fix the labels and maybe put in a correct label or something, because that might help to make things more efficient. But again, going through all of these supplies really helps to let me know not only what I have, but it sparks ideas for different stories. And I am so thankful that I have all these different options for telling my December stories. And if you followed along, you know that I love my Target birds. I absolutely love them. They are the best. I have a whole box full of them, and I always like to put a few in my space. So I'm pretty much done, so I'm just going to grab a few birds. I think I start with 3 and I may add 4, but I have this cutie, and this cutie. So I picked 2 green and 1 red. I can't remember their names. I even did an amazing project last year with all my birds, and I loved it. It was so colorful and fun. But I set up those birds in different spots, and it's the best finishing touch.
So this is what I have for now. There is probably still some more purging that I can do of my supplies, especially in this container right here. So I will just be mindful of that as I go through the season. Am I using this stuff in there? This right here is mainly the new items that came in this year's kit. I do have this paper right here that I cut out. I don't know what my original intention was by cutting this all up, but I have a bunch of icons, and so I don't know. I don't know if I should save it or what I should do with it. I also have a whole category of frames, titles, trees, and then this is the snow globes and the gingerbread, and then back here is tags that you can write on. Below that is the box full of the specialty papers, transparencies, all those type of things. In this box, I just grabbed this because I needed a home for some more pieces, and I went through old prep videos and storage videos, and I do like to stack things, and this will help. So I put these long pieces, I don't know what we want to call them because they're different. There's tags, there's word phrases, there's scallops, but they're all relatively the same shape and size. Those are in a little tray. Then I have the washi. I also have the numbers and the stars from this year. Underneath that, I have another paper, two papers that I cut apart. One is vellum speech bubbles. The other one has the banners. I believe that paper was from like 4 years ago. Underneath that, I have my stars. And then underneath that is this box full of random embellishments that are really old. Another thing I need to be aware of, am I using the pieces in here? And if not, I need to just get rid of it. Over on my fireplace, I started a pile of stuff that I want to give away or just, you know, put in that Facebook group that I was mentioning. Over here, I have a cupcake tray full of embellishments for this year. I really love having this front and center. I have some larger felt numbers right there. This box is hodgepodge of different things. It started out as a way to store digital pieces that I printed, but has now become that, digital pieces, but also miscellaneous things that I don't have a home for. So it's a hodgepodge box now. Behind that, this is where I store a lot of this year's pieces. So I have the journaling cards, the transparencies. I even have the papers in the far back. I have all my stamp sets. And then this right here is some vellum, I believe, from last year. I have the large December, some chipboard I found, and it all comes forward. I fixed it, and then we have some more stamp sets for this year, last year, and years prior. So all that good stuff is in there. I did find the 2019 album I did for ornaments. I started it for Ellie's Studio and then just never finished it. I'm going to translate it into this album, so that should be a video coming soon. I just know that I use Ali Edwards products more consistently as far as December Daily, so I'm okay with taking that album apart and translating it into this album. Okay, so that is what I have all set up. I even have some Target birds out. I absolutely love them. Yes, it's a lot of supplies, but I really need everything spread out so I can see. And I try to remind myself it's kind of like shopping. I get to go shopping for the supplies that I want to use, but remembering to focus on this year's supplies. So I hope you enjoyed this first part of my December daily behind the scenes, putting together all the supplies. I appreciate you taking the time to watch. I would love a thumbs up or a subscribe if you are new to my channel. I hope that you have a wonderful day. Bye.